Hey guys, still here and welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Today is Taffy 3. Now, you might know Taffy 3 is the battle group that stood up against a Japanese battle group. And, well, it was a bit undergunned. It had a couple of aircraft carriers in it, but these were escort carriers. And they were going up against a force that turned out to also include the Yamato. This, of course, does not really resemble that situation, but it's going to be something a bit similar. There are no aircraft carriers in the game, nor do I know if the devs have any plans on implementing those. But what we're going to be doing is a battle between the United States and the Empire of Japan, where I only get 6 destroyers, versus a battleship, a battle cruiser, 2 heavy cruisers, 3 lights, and 2 destroyers. Now, Mike 418 sent this in through my website, and that's the only scenario, or the only way that you can send in your scenarios. Link down to that below in the description, so if you have a scenario for me, you can find it over, or you can submit it through the link down there. Now, he writes, this scenario is roughly based on the Battle of Samar on October 25, 1944, as a part of the Battle of Leyte Gulf. You're in charge of the destroyer complement of Taffy 3, a task force comprised of 6 escort carriers and 6 destroyers, and the only thing standing between the American beachhead and Admiral Kurita's center force, including the battleship Yamato. Can you hold out long enough for reinforcements to arrive and save the American invasion of the Philippines? I have no real specific rule sets that I need to be following here. I just have 6 DDs, and there is one rule that says that one of them has to be called the USS Johnston. Now, interestingly, it says the reinforcements will arrive in 2 hours. Your fleet cannot be expected to survive. Your last ship sinking an hour and 45 minutes into the battle or later is considered a win. Sinking 3 enemy ships would cause the enemy to retreat and therefore would also be a win. Anything else I should know? He says, well, I've run the scenario a couple of times myself to test it before I sent it to you. Speed and torpedoes are your friends. This is going to be a tough one. Keeping the Japanese at bay for almost 2 hours in game time, while having just a couple of destroyers against the secondary armaments from a battleship and battlecruiser and the main armaments from a heavy, a light, and a bunch of destroyers, that's going to be tricky. Let's see what I can whip up. Now, I'm going to go with a modern standard destroyer, not a modern destroyer leader. These guys are a bit bigger, and with that, easier to hit, and I don't want that. Now, speed is going to be important. The question is, however, how much speed would be acceptable? Let's see if I can make 44 knots happen. That's not going to be easy, especially with boilers and funnels. So I'll just have to see how much I can make work. An anti-flood. It's already cutting into my weight quite a bit. Let's set range to none. Bulkheads to many. Now, let's see. Main tower. Secondary tower. Yeah, I'm going to put the secondary tower there. A funnel down here. And hopefully some torpedoes in between. Let's see. Is this going to be enough? Yes, that is 100% engine efficiency. Could I do it with a thin funnel? Not quite. It's going to have to be one of these. Right. We're going to go for 21-inch torpedoes. I don't really find that I'm going to need radar range finding, because I simply won't be doing that much gunnery. So this is going to save me a bit of weight. Acoustics I do want. And as for a rangefinder, well, they're going to add 4%, 12% to main tower weight, whereas the radar is going to add another 20%. It also raises surface visibility. This one does not raise surface visibility. If I am going to gun something down, it's going to be a DD at short range. So let's go with the coincidence rangefinder. I will require a couple of main guns. Let's put some 5-inch dual barrel on here. And I have about 1,000 tons left. Sorry, not 1,000. 100 tons left for a torpedo launcher. Bloody hell. I haven't even upgraded anything along the lines of an auxiliary engine or a propeller shaft. Let's take off the anti-flooding system. Although that means that if something does flood, it's going to go pretty quick. No, I do want at least anti-flooding too. Is this going to save me a lot of weight? I wouldn't call it a lot. What if I go for single barrel turrets? Set up a super firing barbette here. 5-inch. Oh, you cannot put a 5-inch gun on there? I have to move this thing a bit, because I do want another turret here. Ship's overweight. That's probably due to my exceptionally high speed here. 40 knots. Oh. Gun came backwards a bit. So it... Oh, it doesn't quite fit anymore. Down the middle you go. Right there. There and there. Aft weight offset is still 6.2%. I could move this torpedo tube to the back. And move the main or the rear tower to the front. Do I even need a rear tower that size? It's going to save me 25 tons. It's not that valuable. Oh. That's the best I'm going to get? Huh. That's not as much as I was hoping. Because I can... Oh, can I? Whoa. That's juicy. But I don't really need that. I have too much of an aft weight offset. What if I make the ship bigger overall? 2,200 tons. Give me another 5-inch gun. And now I might have a bit more room for the torpedo tubes amidships. 1.8% displacement to the fore. So now I need to move the rear turret slightly farther back. 0.4. 0.4 I can live with. 0.4 is not too bad. Right. Speed is your friend. I would agree with that. Since these ships cannot really be expected to have armor, speed is going to be my armor. I'm trying to get back up to 44 knots. But it's going to be tricky. No. Ship's not going to be able to do it. Oh, come on. The hell? There we go. Ship is overweight, yeah. 43 knots. Torpedo propellant, I want to have them running electric. The reason being that the electric torpedoes are very hard to spot. Their accuracy is also vastly improved. And they run for 12.7 kilometers, which hopefully means that I can torp, turn around, reload, and do it again. I will try to bring an increased ammo complement. I can't quite fit that. If I would want to go with all of these upgrades, which would allow to fire those guns every 5 seconds, I would need a lot more displacement. How much speed would I have to sacrifice for that? Quite a lot. Alright, let's see if I can make it work at 38.5 knots. Yeah, the ship's just too big. Propellant. As we're gonna be gunning down anything, it's gonna be a lightly armored ship. I mean, it's only 5-inch guns. So, Leyte with our high explosive fire damage might not be a bad idea. I don't imagine I can get an auxiliary engine for 2 tons. No. What I could try to do is instead find another place to reduce weight a bit. Oh, that barely gets me anywhere. It's 3 tons. That's saving me 50 tons. That's better. This would help a lot. The advanced propeller shaft gives me more acceleration and more turning rate. What's my turning circle like? 416 meters. Now this is going to help with acceleration and turning rate again. 390 meters. 385 meters. That's pretty good. How long are the ships themselves? Length 391 foot. I think. What's that in normal metrics? 119 meters. So they change course in the length of 3 ship lengths. That is quite a bit. Alright, I guess this is what it's going to be. It's not a lot of speed for a destroyer, 38.5. Ideally I'd have them faster than this, but this is what we're going to have to run with. 4 guns, 10 torpedo tubes. Fight. And I hope that I don't detonate on being spawned in. It's going to seriously come down to the type of ships that the AI designs for the Japanese group. Alright, what you got for me? Stop. We've got groups in a group of 4 and a group of 2. Everybody stop torpedoing. In case you're thinking of doing that. We have what might be the Japanese battleship right here. 8.9 kilometers out. Moving away. We have what... My god, that's a lot of torpedoes. That could be the heavy cruiser or the battle cruiser. That's definitely the heavy cruiser because they have 2 of them. Fun is about to commence. This then is probably the battle cruiser with tons and tons and tons of secondaries. That's 4 or 5 inch if I'm not mistaken. All of those. AKA bad news to destroyers. And we are 12 clicks away from them. 10 clicks away from them. And the closest ship was 8-9, right? Oh, that's the other group. That's the Johnston herself and the Pope. Gotcha. Now my torpedoes can range 12.7. But I don't really want to fire them just yet because I don't know what the intent of this warship is. What I can do is set smoke screens. Now, how do I want to play this? Ideally, I'd have the Smith-Thompson in control of this group and have that group turn around. And have this group under command of the Pope with the Hudson joining that group going that way. So I'm going to detach Hudson. I'm going to reattach Hudson to that group. I'm going to tell them to go this way. I'm going to tell the Smith-Thompson to turn around. Preferably the other way. Not getting closer to those warships. We're actually gunning them down at 9% chance to hit. That is fairly impressive. Ooh. First hit already on the Johnston. Ow. Another one? Could you quit firing that accurately? Bloody hell. We just started this fight. Johnston getting hit again? What the fuck are we doing here? Launch. Because I don't think that the Johnston's going to be able to do that for much longer. Torpedoes away. We have to get out of range. Smith-Thompson, Isherwood, and Chandler. Yeah, see, this is what I was worried about. All of these ships are going to start to maneuver. But it looks like the battleship might not be maneuvering that much. Status. Of all ships, it happens to be the Johnston that dies first. That's pretty sad. Hudson. Torpedo range is fairly limited. I do like how they're trying to gun down that battleship with 127mm aka 5-inch guns. That is pretty ambitious. And I don't think it's going to do a lot of damage. If anything. Now, it's just going to be waiting to see if this warship actually guns down the next DD as quickly as it did the first. I really hope not. These guys are still doing their, I don't know how to ascertain my new formation thing. Incoming warship. Still changing course. Very hard to torp. Now the Hudson still has torpedoes ready. Let's see if she's willing to launch those against that warship over there. Possibly not yet. The angle is pretty bad. This one would be better. Because this one doesn't have to make a lot of course corrections in order to avoid those torpedoes. Come on, Hudson. You're well inside of torpedo range. Thank you very much. Okay, we're gonna massively torp this guy. With Smith-Thompson, and Isherwood, and Chandler. And then we're going to disengage. Because there are a lot more smoke screens around here, which means the DDs are here. Select aggressive. Oh, crap. Speaking of DDs. Oh, dear. I'm going to have to do some serious micromanagement here, or this fight's going to be very, very short. I need you to turn out. I need you to turn in. And the Chandler... What the hell are you even trying to torpedo? Is the Chandler also going to get hit by a torp? Doesn't look like it yet. Sharp turn. That's good. Isherwood still hasn't launched her torpedoes. Smith-Thompson still hasn't launched her torpedoes either. Come on, guys. I need my torpedoes on target. Isherwood, if you want to live, I would recommend that you start making some corrections. Are the other DDs also at risk? Pope and Hudson. I mean, they're getting shot at. But that seems to be the only threat. Oh, speaking of threats. Looks like we're going to land some very nice salvos over here. Possibly towards the stern, maybe some rudder damage. Could be damage to engine 3. Just the one? Bingo, that's just the one. But there is another ship, which might still absorb some more. Alright, are we good with those torpedoes? Isherwood, maintain. Chandler launched her torpedoes. Smith-Thompson still hasn't. Can't quite figure out why. Just launch the damn torpedoes. If you try turning them off again and back on. Ooh. Chandler just took a big chunk of damage from a 203mm gun, aka 8-inch. Wait, that's all that those torpedoes did? That was very limited. Isherwood. Isherwood's fine. The DDs over there did launch their torpedoes. We also have a screen going this way, but unless that battle cruiser speeds up, sorry, heavy cruiser speeds up, I don't think it's going to be particularly impacted by that salvo. Chandler just detected the enemy torpedoes. Whoa, that's a lot of torpedoes. Look at that. That must be the entire wave that's coming out of the heavy cruiser. Detach Thompson. Thompson don't launch. Chandler fall back. Smokescreen in 2 minutes 40. Roger. You probably detected the torpedoes. No, you couldn't have. You're just reacting to my maneuvers. That's it. You're just reacting. Now, we have only had 9 minutes pass in this battle. So there is still a lot of time that I'm expected to survive. We have the battleship Taiho over here. 406mm guns. 203mm casemates. And they even come with underwater torpedoes of 22 inches. Interestingly, the torpedo tubes are not yet measured in centimeters. Chandler is still limping away. She's not dead yet. Glorious, there's more torpedoes coming in. Check your fire. Alright, Isherwood survived the torpedoes. She's now falling back. We are trying to put 5-inch shells on the deck of the Yakumo. And she has an armored belt of 16.3 centimeters. An armored deck of 8.8 centimeters. It's going to be really tricky. You know what? I know that I'm normally using, well, centimeters in real life, but in this game I just cannot compute. I'm so used to seeing inches that I need that measurement, otherwise I get very confused. Alright, there's a wall of torpedoes coming this way, but if the Isherwood continues here, she should be fine. That means that I'm about to have just 4 destroyers left. 3 at this rate. Set a smokescreen. Torpedo the the what? The Tsubakuro. Cue the torpedo beats. Smith Thompson coming through. Maybe this would be a nice target. Kaimon. Range to the Kaimon? 7 clicks. Jesus. You're pretty much on top of that ship. She's firing back at you with 14-inch guns, 7-inch secondaries. Hard to starboard. Try to land those torpedoes on the target. She has... oh. She has maximum bulkheads. Anti-torpedo 3. Anti-flooding 2. Glorious. That's going to be a tricky one to hit. Or rather, maybe not so much tricky to hit, but very difficult to sink. Now, if you could actually use those torpedo tubes that are sitting amidships, they're not for decoration. They're actually to kill the enemy. Thank you, Smith Thompson. Now you can fall back. Can you detect that? Come on. Sonar 1. You can detect them, but you're not going to get a lot of warning. That's good. Pope almost ready to torpedo again. Oh, bloody hell. You got torpedoed, buddy. Pretty bad. Few bulkheads. Looks like the Taiho is very much down on her luck. If I can have the Pope torpedo that ship, I can finish it off. Which would put me in a vastly better position. Isherwood should be coming back in, more or less. Torpedoes denied. Set a smokescreen as you're moving towards the fleet. Chandler, still alive. And does not seem to be the focus anymore of these ships for some reason or another. Taiho detected enemy torpedoes. What torpedoes? Oh! There were still torpedoes on the way. Interesting. Those must be mine, judging by the launching vector. Your torpedo should also be arriving. Fortunately, it looks like the Kaimon has been changing direction. I think that this might not impact the ship that much, because she's making a turn to starboard. And she's just blading herself through. Unless this torpedo gets exceptionally lucky. But I rather doubt it. Really? You're gonna drift into the... Really? Yes, really. Torpedo hit. Taiho. New section is 2 torpedoes hit. Ooh. Juicy. Is that gonna kill the Taiho then? Because they only came in with 1 battleship. And that was it. Isherwood. Kaimon detected enemy torpedoes. Yeah, I imagine that. They're just a little bit off to her port side. Now it's going to take my destroyer 750 seconds to reload those tubes. So in the meanwhile she's going to have to run. Taiho is going down. Now the enemy has a battleship, a battle cruiser. The battle cruiser we know of. 2 heavy cruisers that we know of. I'm still missing 3 light cruisers and 2 destroyers. Where are those? Where did those go? This is definitely DD or light cruiser. But I have to inspect that smoke. This is when radar could have made a vast difference in my ability to predict where the enemy is going to be. Because at least you get some radar pings. But I'm not even getting that. I'm just seeing where the smoke is. Oh. Okay. I guess some shells that were meant for the heavy cruiser actually hit the light cruiser? Yeah. Stern belt extended overpen for 26 damage. Interesting. Not what I was expecting at all. Now try to stay relatively close to the Kaimon, but not on top of her. Over here, the Isherwood. I do want to sink the heavy cruisers, but I think they're going to be too difficult to hit with torpedoes. So let's have the Isherwood change course and also make way towards the Kaimon. 17 minutes survived. Near enough. I need to sink 3 ships. That is going to tell me, or that's going to make me win the battle. Getting shot at by a light cruiser probably. And I need to sink 3. Thompson. Let's start changing course. One thing that's a bit sad about the game is that you cannot give orders in a queue. I cannot tell the ship to go here and there and there and there by holding shift like you could with some other games. So I'm just locked in to one particular order. Kaimon is 6.9, 6.8 kilometers out. Isherwood still doesn't have her torpedoes loaded. It's going to take me a bit more time. Unfortunately for her, her smoke screen's out. She's now going to get subjected to a withering fire of 7-inch guns and 5-inch secondaries. Not to mention the 14-inch guns, but I don't really expect hits from those. Fortunately for me, the rangefinder's not that good. Coincidence 3. Oh, hold on. Look at this. Something is running out of torpedoes for the 1x3 and the 1x4. That's actually really good. Really good. Because that means that some of the destroyers don't have any torpedoes left. Isherwood almost reloaded. Range to the target, 6.5 clicks. That's your target, right there. Just make sure you hit it. She does have some sonar capabilities. I think it was sonar 1. That somewhat negates the lower torpedo visibility, but not entirely. Oh, there's still the Taiho going down. You sure would? 6, 7. Torpedoes ready. She's probably not confident on save, but she is confident enough on normal. Now, the challenge is, do I stay on course? Because you could argue that if I change course, that ship is going to react. But if I don't change course, I could be a very, very dead destroyer very quickly. So it is a big trade-off. And I don't really know how to fix it, so I'm going to do a bit of both. I'm going to be maneuvering a little bit. Just back and forth somewhat. Apparently the Kaimon seems to be a very fast ship. Because this is a hell of a lead for that battlecruiser. Now sure enough, these torpedoes are not terribly quick. 36.5 knots. They're actually slower than the launching ship. But still, that seems like a lot of lead. I almost got to be careful not to run into those with the Pope. What I could do is have the Pope launch her torpedoes. Torpedoes away from the Pope. Just the Pope, not the Hudson. Not yet. Fairly tight grouping. Quite nice. So if you veer out a bit, it seems like the Kaimon is still very focused on the Isherwood. I don't mind that. There's still some incoming shells from somewhere in this direction. I think I very briefly saw the target indicator change. Change course. There's a lot of incoming shells. Ooh, dear Isherwood, that's not good. Flooding. The whole of the aft is on fire. Secondary tower is fine. But 2 damaged engines and a damaged rudder is death for most ships, and especially for destroyers. I think that's going to be the end of the Isherwood. Which is especially bad news. Because it's also going to mean that the Kaimon might change course. See if the Hudson can torpedo. Oh shit, there are incoming torpedoes here. I have to change course here. Hard, otherwise this is going to be a really, really dead destroyer. Come on, Hudson. Steady course. Alright, turn the torpedo tubes back off. I actually got a comment a couple of videos ago from somebody saying how stupid it was that I kept turning the torpedo tubes on and off. I was like, what? Turning the torpedo tubes on and off is allowing me to very carefully pinpoint what ship I want to target and when. If I let them just launch the entire time, it's going to make it very difficult to coordinate launches and to see where I can get my torpedoes to fire. But this guy was going, oh, it's so stupid that you turn them on and off. What? No. It's called tactics, sir. It's something you might not yet understand. Pope. Turn. Get outside of effective firing range of that ship. And by effective, I don't mean that the guns are going to completely fall silent. I mean that they don't hit me. And we're already seeing a drop in accuracy. Torpedoes coming in here. And here. Have you spotted those at all? Chandler sinks. From a Ghost 7-inch shell. Great. Kaimon. Ooh. Hit. That's a bow hit. She detected the torpedoes, probably those, but just before she got hit. Let's see how long she actually gets before she spots these. Now she spotted... I think she spotted this set, which gives her very little time to react. Unfortunately, the spread's very wide, so I'm lucky if I land these 2 hits. But judging by her speed, I don't think that that's happening. Hudson evaded the torpedoes, excellent. Oh, she might eat a couple more. 1, 2, 3, 4? 4. Good work. That is going to put that ship in a troubling spot, as it's going to be flooding a lot. I have opened sides in the ship from pretty much bow to stern. The only part that wasn't terribly well hit was the rudder. Now the problem is going to be finding light cruisers. The heavy cruisers I still know the location of. And I believe it's the Smith Thompson who's relatively close to those guys. There, 10 clicks out. Turn your main guns off. I don't want you to give your position away. They might already know where you are, though. Yeah, I think they know. Considering that she just launched a set of torpedoes. That was the Smith Thompson. Hard to port. Battlecruiser. Jesus, she has the flooding under control already. Yes, the flooding icon is still there, but it's not that bad. Come on. Hudson's not going to have her torpedoes ready. Neither is Pope. This is going to get pretty tricky. Means we're going to need another good salvo or 2 before she goes down. And I don't have that many torpedoes left. Open fire. We're getting random smoke hits again. And a torpedo wall that's coming in. Pope, turn. Turn, turn, turn. Are we fine over here? Yeah, I'm not seeing any torpedoes going towards Hudson at the moment. This DD packing away with her high explosive 5-inch shells against the battlecruiser. What could she possibly do? Another 5-inch shell hits me. Oh, there. Jesus, they're close. 6 clicks out. And I still have no idea what I'm looking at. Damn. Those light cruisers are going to cause me all sorts of trouble. Now, I'm hoping that I can still land some torpedoes against the Tsubakuro. Let's try that again. Set a smoke screen. Oh, come on, Thompson. I really don't want you hanging around here for very long. Thank you very much. Okay, torpedoes out. Again, I'm going to have to fall back. It might cause a course change. But I'm going to be forced to change my course too, because they're dropping torpedoes on me. Now, the Pope... still evading torpedoes. And the Hudson... still trying to gun down the heavy cruiser. Sorry, the battle cruiser. With a little 5-inch guns. The Isherwood finally goes down. Much as expected, really. And she is still trying to sink the Pope. Let's set a smokescreen to make sure that doesn't happen. Torpedoes avoided. Alright. Now, Hudson. I don't really expect you to do much damage, but I do hope that you're going to reload. I think I might have to charge this battle cruiser. As long as she's distracted, I might be able to charge. I got 3 DDs left. I need to survive for another, what is it, 90 minutes? You spotted torpedoes. Would you mind indicating where? They're not there. They're not here. They must have come from the general direction of the heavy cruisers. At this point my ships are operating so far apart that I don't even know where what ship is anymore. Okay, that's where they are. Let's see if I can more or less reconnect. Range 9.6. Torpedoes almost reloaded. I think the Pope might have to charge in, not the Hudson. And I also still have the light cruisers, which are out there somewhere. Oh, and I just told the Smith-Thompson to charge right into that. Oh, there's the torpedo swarm. Jesus, look at the size of that. Over here you can see a naturally migrating swarm of torpedoes. They're known to pull from the east to the west in search of warmer waters and more merchant shipping. But at the moment, such cannot be found. Unfortunately, something happened on the way to heaven. You got hit once, didn't you? Yeah. 14-inch shell. Just insta-killed the Pope. The Pope is dead. Long live the Pope. No, wait, wrong game. I'm gonna have to hope that the reload of the Hudson's torpedoes coincides with her arrival close to the Cayman. And that I'm, by approaching the bow, making it more difficult for the secondaries from the Cayman to land hits. Oh! Land hits on the Hudson. That's not very helpful. Right. Now, the scenario says your last ship sinking an hour and 45 minutes into the battle is considered a victory. I could just keep this ship sailing around for the next hour and a half, but that wouldn't make for a particularly entertaining video. So what I'm going to do is try and find additional ships that I can torp and hope that I don't get killed off by the heavy cruisers. At some point there were torpedoes heading towards these ships, but I think that they might have been either completely off target due to the constant maneuvering of the heavy cruisers, or just launched in a different direction altogether, entirely. So, Taffy 3, not doing too well. Damage I have inflicted, 2400. Damage I have taken, 18,000. Now, of course, an 8,000 damage hit, or a few 3,000 damage hits from a couple of destroyers, from a couple of battle cruisers and heavy cruisers, that's not really helpful. Yes, it does kill the ship, I'll give you that much. But I'd say it's not really representative of the actual amount of damage that they did. Now, apparently I cannot spot the Tsubakuro beyond about 10.8 kilometers out. Oh, torpedoes. You just dumped another salvo, didn't you? These things don't launch torpedoes, they shit torpedoes. 20 tubes per side. Thank God that's not in World of Warships. Although I stopped playing that one recently. Yakumo also has 55 torps left. And if you think that they have exhausted their main launchers, well, they still got a surprise for you in the form of the side-mounted and bow and stern-mounted torpedo tubes. Don't worry, there is more. Let's hope that the Thompson can actually dunk some torpedoes in against her, or in the general direction there. Because there might be more between myself and the cruisers than meets the eye. Come on, Thompson, you are reloaded. Make it happen. Thompson launched. Excellent. Now I can see some of the torpedoes. Here, and here, and here. At this point, I'm not even sure if I should call the video the Taffy 3 or migrating torpedoes, because just look at the number of those things. How long do they run? For 14.8 kilometers. Roger that. Alright. At least they're not firing at me anymore. With the main guns, that is. But that says absolutely nothing about these ghosts of light cruisers and DDs that are still haunting me somewhere. I lost sight of the I don't know what. Probably the heavy cruiser there. Yep. There is more than meets the eye. I have detected enemy torpedoes. You don't say. But they already passed me, didn't they? Yeah, here they are. Migrating torpedoes. What about my own? I need to have a torpedo tracker of some sort. Not so much for their torpedoes, although it would help if you spotted them to keep an eye on them. But my own. Because I spent almost every video a few minutes to just try and relocate my own torpedoes. Usually to no success. Oh, you're firing? Hold on. Is that actually the heavy cruiser? Yes, it is. The heavy cruiser's opening up. With a 0.3% chance to hit me. Yeah, well, as we have seen, it only takes one shell. Although that was a 13-inch shell, I think. Ah, found the torpedoes. Now, these things have maximum bulkheads. Oh joy. When is the Tsubakuro going to detect the torpedoes? Ah, fuck. Now. Okay. At 1 kilometer out, so they get very little warning. I would really like to hit another ship. Just hit it altogether would be an upgrade. Sinking it is a secondary priority. More torpedoes. Jeez. Look at this. Smoke screens all over the place. One thing that I would still like for ships is that you can more or less manually launch torpedoes. Not so much that you're actually controlling the ship, but that I say, okay, I want to launch torpedoes in just that general direction. Instead of your torpedoes needing an actual target. That would be an upgrade. Because it just gives you more options. And especially if you have a more complex attack, where, for example, you launch one set to just push the enemy in that general direction, and then they get hit from the other side. That's another reason why I would want to have that, let's say, fire in general direction option. Now, where are the heavy cruisers? Oh, there they are. But I think that my torpedoes have long since passed them. That's Tsubakuro. Last I checked. Where are my torpedoes at? Here. Oh, no. Oh, great. More incoming. Tsubakuro is down to the last 10 torpedoes on those big launchers. And the Yakumo still has plenty left. That sounded like a collision. Oh wow, the Kaimon is still here. Hello. Long time no see. Alright, fuck it. We're going for the Banzai charge. Straight ahead, down the torpedoes. I would love to survive it. Jeez, more migrating torpedoes. I would love to survive it, but if I don't, so be it. It's going to be a good end for the Smith-Thompson. At least an honorable one. One thing that's not ideal is my angle of approach. Yes, I'm limiting the amount of fire that I can take. But this ship doesn't need to maneuver a lot in order to avoid. Oh, joy. Surprise, surprise, there's a torpedo coming in. Range, 4 clicks. I would also want the ability to turn off individual weapons. Not either all turrets or no turrets. Or all torpedo tubes or no torpedo tubes. Just let me pick one torpedo section that I want to launch. So that I can turn, or I can move right between the Yakumo and the Tsubakuro. Launch one set at the Yakumo, one set at the Tsubakuro. And sink both. Although I'm not really holding my breath, because I have 18 seconds of smokescreen left. Oh, and there's torpedoes coming in from the left. Hold on. That could... that could actually work to my favor. Thompson, last salvo. Make it count. You got nothing left now. Might as well turn on the guns. Target Tsubakuro and head back, because there's another gift set coming in from Tsubakuro. So the AI is torping itself. Interesting. And another set from Tsubakuro. Wonderful. Now there's the smoke screens of death. I think I might have to pass in front of it here. Yakumo is definitely not going to get hit. Unless it does something really stupid. Oh, she's launching even more torpedoes. And another one. That must have been a volley from another quintuple launcher. And another set. And another. Christ, could you quit it out? I know that the Japanese love their torpedoes, but this is nuts. Now I have done what? Total. I have landed 10 torpedoes. Out of the original 40 to 50 that were carried by each of my destroyers. So I have hit 10 torpedoes out of the 300 that I carried. Although, for example, Johnston went down too fast. And never really got the opportunity to actually do some damage. Now I think that I can still get out of this fight if I wanted to. So yeah, technically it would be a win. Because all I need to do is just evade and survive. And I could put another smoke screen down. I just need to survive for 1 hour 45 minutes. Just. Just survive, he said, and then his engine gets taken out. Smith Thompson. Try to maintain speed as best you can. I'm willing to accept 31.4. Wow, she did damage. Just don't go any slower. Nah, this is gonna make for a terrible... Ooh, terrible video. She's going down. She controlled the flooding. But somebody so much as sneezes on the Smith Thompson, and she's going to fall apart. She's going to fall down to 14 knots. And she's dead. Yep, that's the end of Taffy 3. Not a good one at that. Taffy 3 is no more. Hope you guys enjoyed the fight though. It was an interesting battle. And let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comments. Again, if you want to submit your own scenario, you can do so. Link down below in the description. And aside from that, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you soon for another video.